In order to manage knowledge workers like engineers, you need to learn how to motivate them. Hi and welcome to this video, in which we will cover some of the key theories in motivation and team leadership, which were developed over a long period of time after observing several teams and surveying many workers and managers. In this video, we will focus on three key theories of the human behavior which shape the way we lead technical teams. And at the end, we will see an example of how this appeared in previous exams of the engineering management. But first, we need to mention that there are two schools of thought when it comes to how to motivate teams. The first one is the social systems school, which focus on the groups or teams, not the individual worker in isolation. The first key theory here is Hawthorne experiment. The theory that was evolved as a result of it was the supervision effect. Hawthorne experiment was a catalyst which sparked the production of this school's core concepts. Second is Likert, the four systems. And on the channel, there is a separate video covering it and how it implicates and applies to several corporates. Third is the Black and Mouton, the managerial grid, which focus on the leadership style across two axes, the concern for people versus concern for production and outputs. But the focus of this video is the human behavioral school, how to motivate the individual knowledge workers. And there are three theories that we will cover in this video. First one is Herzberg, motivator versus hygiene theory. Second is Maslow and the hierarchy of needs. Third one is McGregor theory X and theory Y. Let's start with the first one, which is Herzberg's motivator hygiene theory. It mentions that to motivate workers, you need to focus on the factors that gets them motivated, which showed that there are some needs that, if exist, will not motivate the worker. But if they don't exist, the worker will be demotivated, which Herzberg called the hygiene factors. And you'll be surprised that the salary is one of them. So if the salary is good, the worker will be fine, will not be motivated, but will be okay. If the salary doesn't meet the expectations of the worker, they will be demotivated. So these are the factors that are called hygiene factors, like having good access to washrooms, enough breaks, and flexibility of work. All these are just needs that must be there. If they don't exist, the worker will quit, will be demotivated. On the other side, there are some factors that can get the worker to a higher level of motivation, like focusing on recognitions, increasing the responsibilities of the worker, showing them a path to personal growth. Now let's get to the second theory, which is a key one, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What Maslow uncovered as part of his study is that the needs of people are not created equal. They come in tiers and they need to be satisfied in sequence. So basically, the lower level needs must be satisfied first before the worker can actually get motivated or even focus on the needs in the higher level. So, for example, the psychological needs are mandatory. So, having enough salary for the worker to pay their bill, that's a physiological need. Second is safety needs. In the In the workplace setting, we can consider job stability in this level. Third one is social needs, by doing team building and showing the workers that they are part of a team and they belong to that team. Next one is the esteem needs, prestige, recognition. And after these levels are satisfied, then the worker gets to the higher level, which is the self actualization. That's when the workers start being innovative and comes up with new ideas and takes more ownership on their own. And that's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Third theory in our video is McGregor's theory X and theory Y. Here, the hypothesis is interesting. The manager's assumptions about workers directly affect the outputs that the workers that comes out of the workers. Why is that? Because there is a closed loop of actions and results, cause and effect, when it comes to the assumption that the manager has in their mind. So, for example, in theory X, the managers assume that the people are lazy and dislike work. Accordingly, you can imagine that they will micromanage. They will not give enough recognition. They will always be on the coercive side of um, supervision, which will automatically result in the workers being demotivated and accordingly starting like quitting job or at least taking more sick leaves. Accordingly, that will reinforce the manager's assumption, and this is a closed loop of kill chain of motivation. That's theory X. On the other side, theory Y is when the manager assumes that people are self-motivated, they enjoy work, they come to work to actually do something good. And surprisingly, when the managers think in that way, that will reflect on how they interact with the workers and the more responsibilities and trust they put into them. Accordingly, the workers will have more ownership, and then that will again reinforce the assumption of the manager. And this is a cycle of growth, and that's theory Y. So these theories that we covered just before we get into the question, um, I want to think about how you manage your teams, and that you can affect how the workers will react, and you are responsible for the results. Okay, now let's look at how this appeared in the previous exams. The question actually repeated in several exams in the previous years, in the engineering management exam for the P.Eng candidates. And the question was direct. Describe McGregor's theory X versus theory Y, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and Herzberg's motivator hygiene concept. I hope this video helped you understanding these three theories and seeing some implications on how they can apply on your team management. Let me know in the comments if you have any specific comments, and looking forward to seeing you in next video. Thanks.